Greetings friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Del Puckett here, and this is the beginning of this build video of this Purple Heart neck scarf jointed 3-string cigar box guitar. So stay tuned and watch this thing unfold. So right off the bat I trimmed this down so it could be the right thickness for the tuners, and I also routed these edges here to begin the shape of the neck. Now the reason why I do that first, because if I put the wings on, then I can't get the router up in here. So that's just a little trick that I do. Next I'm going to cut my back angle, and I'm going to use this piece for the wings on the headstock. Alright, so the back angle has been cut, and you can see it's a nice wedge, a nice fall down here. So I took those pieces, which have nice wedge shape to them, and you can see it's actually thicker here at the bottom and skinnier at the top, both of them. So now these here I will use as my wings to widen the headstock. Now it's time to wait for the glue to dry. But anyhow, I figured I would show you the box. This is going to be a black brick house. Alright, we have extra large sound holes, and the insides are all glued up and clamped and ready to dry. Alright, so the glue has dried, and now it's starting to take shape. Next, I measured twice and cut once the slot for the notch for the neck. I usually cut it a little bit smaller, and then I file it larger so that the neck pocket right here is nice and tight. So, starting to come together. Next, I'm going to get a Home Depot neck, cut the slots in it, and then I'm going to spray it black so that these orange letters are painted black. Then I'm going to sand off the top so that this color is left, but the letters are black. This is what that looks like. You can see the back side here. You can see those letters right there. So now I'm going to sand it. I just barely started to sand it, and you can actually see them already popping out. The reason I'm wearing a mask is because this Purple Heart dust makes me sneeze. So using various files and sandpapers, I carved the neck to the perfect shape, and the headstock as well. And trust me when I say this is a very, very, very laborious and intensive. You can actually see the sweat on my hand. As far as the fretboard goes, I just wanted to lightly sand this thing here, because the deeper I go, you can actually see some of this orange starting to pop out. So even up here you can see a little bit of the orange popping out. So I've done this twice. I've already sprayed it twice and then lightly sanded it. So I'm just going to go with this ultra light sanding. See how that goes. Now I'm ready to glue the fretboard to the neck and then continue sanding. And now be sure to wipe off all the glue while it's wet. Save yourself the hassle later. So now we are going to hurry up and wait. That spar urethane makes it darker overall, but sure is pretty. Went ahead and cut the holes for the headstock, and it's all carved, and so now I just need this spar urethane to dry, and then I'll buff it out and do it again. All right, so got me a nice haircut. Trim the beard. Even trim some of the curb feelers from the eyebrows there, and some of the ear hair. Ding, 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 ding. I like to take some of those ear hairs and cut them at different lengths. That way I can like tune them. Ding, ding. Same thing on this side. Ding, ding. Get that stereo effect. Anyhow, I installed the Gotoh tuners and put some screws, frets, and you can see how that pops. My gosh, that's just so awesome. I also had to opt for these little tabs here so that the pickup I could screw into some wood there, and I did have some extra little purple hearts that are perfect for that. And you'll notice here that there's a little lift up here and then a little trough right here, and this little trough part here is so that the actual cigar box itself, the top, actually does not come in contact with the purple heart wood. So there's a little gap in there just to increase the resonance of the box. And of course this here is the embedded piezo. You'll notice these 3 screws here, and those 3 are screw holes rather. These are not screw holes. These are going to be for the string through, so that we are going to actually do string through here and then up and over the saddle, which will be right here. Finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Strung it up, tuned it up, intonated it. We're tuned G, D, G. And I have the 44, the 34, and the 26 wound. So this is the blender knob here, which means it is off here. So that's the acoustic sound. Which is really loud, oh my gosh. But if I crack it open just a little bit, like barely, like slightly, then I get the piezo. And then the more I increase it, then the more of the single coil gets in the mix. And then up here at like 8 or 9, then it's almost entirely single coil. So I am going to sit down with this thing here and play some jams and try to give those crickets. Try to give those crickets a run for their money. These are the settings on the micro cube. I can give the crickets a run for their money like that. Actually, this is better for crickets. I actually had a conversation with a cricket. A couple of things I wanted to point out. You can see here there is no hinge. These are string through, like I mentioned before, and they're embedded in there, so you can run your finger over there and you're not going to feel them. So the heads of the strings are embedded in there, and they come out here with these pop rivets. And the skinny pop rivet, that one's grounded, so that ground comes up, hits this fret, and then gets all the strings. So all the strings are grounded. And of course, here's the blender knob. But what I wanted to point out here was this single coil pickup. Traditionally it's square, but I just took my Dremel tool in the file and then sandpaper, and then I rounded the edges off of that thing, and makes it look really, really classy, in my opinion. Those large sound holes make this thing just loud. But what I wanted to point out was this spar urethane finish here on the Purple Heart. I just love the way it pops. And of course the gold screws, and then that fretboard. If you get it in the right light, man, it just really like stands out. Of course the scarf joint, and you can notice here I got a few extra screws in here, and those screws are just to keep the strings straight right here, that's all, just for looks. But I just love the way the scarf joint looks and feels. I think it makes a Cigar Box guitar just all that much more classy, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to leave you with my one of my little outros. Right, if you like these videos, be sure to subscribe, comment, like, share. And don't forget the virtual tip jar in the upper right hand corner of my YouTube channel. And I will also put the link to my website in the description below. All right, see you in the next video.